Hello, it's Kate McDowell from Align Natural Health. And I did a poll on Instagram 2 days ago, and I was asking, what are the things that you struggle with the most? And what came back, it actually surprised me a little bit. 50% of people said that period cramps was the biggest problem, the biggest pain. I guess maybe that's why. And then heavy periods also got quite a few votes, and so did clotty periods. And ultimately, these are very interrelated a lot of the times when it comes to dealing with these symptoms. And that's one thing that I definitely want to make sure that you understand is that anytime you're dealing with changes to your period or sleep issues or mood issues, these are all symptoms. And symptoms are always a message from the body saying that something is not functioning properly and something needs your help. And the important thing to realize here is that there are things you can do. There are things we can do for our bodies that will help give you the support that you need to function better, and you don't have to just accept these. If period cramps is something that you've struggled with your whole life, it can be easy to fall into the belief that, oh, that's just me. Oh, that's just something that my family deals with, or it's something that I have to deal with. But that's not the case. There are things that you can do to help your body. And a good place to start is to figure out, like, why is your body giving you these cramps all the time? Why are you having the really heavy periods or the clotty periods? And that's something that I help with. I can test from a distance. So I test people all over North America to see what's going on with your body and why are you having the symptoms you're having. So when it comes to having the cramping around periods, this is often linked to hormones, which I'm sure makes sense for you, but now we need to dig deeper on this. And this is typically when there's excess levels of estrogen in the body. And so why are we coming in contact with this excess estrogen? And when there's excess estrogen, it breaks down during the menstrual cycle. And in this process, something called prostaglandins are formed, which is or a hormone like substance in the body, but it's something that's linked to inflammation. And when there's a lot of inflammation and prostaglandins in our system, that links is linked to more pain. So, why are we dealing with excess estrogen? It's a natural hormone. It's a hormone that women are supposed to have. It's associated with what makes us female. It gives us breasts and it gives us the female shape. It's important for pregnancy. So it is a hormone that's important for women to have for everyday activities, for life. But why do we have too much of it? And why has this become such a problem for people in the last decade and more? Is that we're coming in contact with it in so many ways in our environment. And so, why am I dealing with excess estrogen? One area it comes in, yes, the body makes it. That's kind of the first place we can look at here. Yes, the body makes it, but the body is smart. The body is always trying to do what it's supposed to do. And when things aren't functioning properly, that's where I like to sit back and ask, okay, why? What's getting in the way? Why is your body not able to function properly? So, something is causing that, or there's something missing so it can't do what it's supposed to do. So, yes, our body makes estrogen. We also consume it in our foods. In some ways, this is considered beneficial because there are what's called phytoestrogens that come in plants. So, things like flaxseed is a phytoestrogen. Soy is also considered a phytoestrogen. And unfortunately, we're at the time now where soy has become very genetically modified, especially in North America, in Canada, and so it's not the makeup that it used to be. And so I'm very cautious when it comes to soy, but there are some plant versions of estrogen, phytoestrogens, that when they go into the estrogen receptors in the body, they're kind of a weaker version of the estrogen that our body makes and the other versions that we come in contact with as well. So we can consume them in our foods. We also can come in contact with estrogen-like substances, which these ones are called xenoestrogens because they're synthetic, and those are all around us. Those are in a lot of our personal care products, a lot of our beauty products, products that you put on your skin, products that you put in very personal places like feminine care products. And our skin is our largest organ on our body, so it's going to absorb the chemicals and the xenoestrogens that are on in, around all of these personal care products. So that could be your skin or your face cream. It could be your face wash, your shampoo. A lot of these different products are going to have chemicals in them that are estrogen like in the body and that can drive our estrogen levels up as well. Fragrances is another really big one. I've talked about this in the past as well when I talk about thyroid, in the sense that where do we spray our perfume? On our thyroid, on our neck, in this area. And if thyroid is imbalanced, you're gonna have imbalance in other hormones as well. So fragrances is a really big one. I saw a post today from, I don't remember who it was from, but talking about how oh, it's Dr. Saladino, about how fragrances are like the new secondhand smoke, because ultimately fragrances are having a really big impact on our system. You can walk through a store or past the Bath and Body Works, and I feel almost nauseous when I go past that area now, because I've cleaned up things for myself in my own life to the point where fragrances that I used to love and I used to really enjoy the smell of them, I can't stand them anymore. And those are designed to do that. Those fragrances are there's chemicals and there's things put in them to make the scent linger and last, to make it spread far and wide. And so these are chemicals that are going to have an impact on your body as well. And because they are xenoestrogens and hormone disrupting chemicals, they can contribute to the increase in estrogen in our body. Where else do we have fragrances in our laundry soap and dryer sheets. Dryer sheets are a really big one here. Think about that. You're putting your clothes into the wash and it comes out and it smells really nice, but it touches your skin, touches your face, touches all the parts of you, and you're coming in contact with these xenoestrogens and these endocrine hormone disruptors on a daily basis. And then plastics. Plastics is another really big one as well. I've heard that the chemical makeup of plastic, if you think of BPA, which is in plastic water bottles, a lot of companies have switched now to BPS, I believe, and will say BPA free, but that doesn't mean that they're good. They've just replaced it with something else because people became aware that BPA is a problem for us, and it will replace estrogen in the body. And so now the body's not able to function properly because in the key slot where you're supposed to put the estrogen key, you've got BPA jammed in there, and it's not giving the right signals and messages to the body. So those are a couple of the areas where we come in contact with estrogen and why our estrogen levels can be higher. And as I said, when we've got this excess estrogen and there's a correlation here, or there's a link here between what I said, the 3 things that I asked about, the really heavy periods, the really clotty periods, and the cramping, in the sense that this is gonna cause, when there's more estrogen floating in your system, this is gonna cause an increased, thickness of your uterine lining. And so then when it comes time for your period, comes off clotty, comes off really heavy, and it's painful because it causes these inflammation prostaglandins to be increased in our system. So it makes the period really not very nice. A big thing here too is the estrogen and progesterone. It's not necessarily that you don't even have to have high estrogen to be an imbalance here. Progesterone being low, like estrogen could be considered low by metrics if you were to get your hormones tested. But if there's an imbalance between estrogen and progesterone, you can still have symptoms here too. Okay, so here's the good stuff. What are things you can do? So you can start making some changes to the estrogens that you're taking in. So things like dryer sheets. We've replaced those in our house with sheep wool dryer balls, and then we use a little bit of essential oils. When it comes to fragrances, essential oils is something that's not going to have the toxic impact on your body, and you still can smell nice. You still can smell good. So you don't have to smell bad just because we're getting rid of fragrances. We also want to help the body detox and clear out the excess estrogen. Liver and bowel toxicity, when things are clogged up and not clearing properly, that can contribute to inflammation, and inflammation contributes to the cramping. So we want to make sure that we're giving the body the support it needs to clear things out effectively and efficiently. We want to make sure that you're pooping every day, at least once. This is a shock for some people. I've had clients start working with me and I ask, "Are you regular?" That's a comment or a question that I ask on every intake. And because you're consistently pooping regularly, and that's once a week on Wednesdays, that's not ideal. Just because it's been normal for you and it's something you've been dealing with for a long time, we wanna make sure that the body is pooping regularly, like I said, at least once a day, because if you're not pooping consistently, you're holding toxins in your system, and that can lead to all kinds of symptoms. Definitely can contribute to hormone imbalance, heavy periods, clotty periods, and the cramping as well. We also want to make sure to reduce sugar consumption and refined carbohydrates because these will drive up insulin in our system. And insulin is a hormone that activates an enzyme in our body as well. I know, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to be super technical with you. But insulin drives up this enzyme, and the enzyme, this is an enzyme that can trigger, not contribute, well, contribute as well, can trigger inflammation and pain. So keeping the high sugar consumption and the refined carbohydrate consumption lower is going to benefit you here because it's going to keep insulin lower. And then even small actions to help your body with stress can benefit you if you struggle with cramps. From here, there are other little things we can do. The thing is, I want to encourage everyone, work with a practitioner because just doing band-aid effects, you can do like medicine is a band-aid. If you're taking Midol, it's a band-aid. It's not fixing the problem. Sorry. But if you're doing natural supplementation as well, if it's supplementation that's just targeting the pain so that you can deal with the pain better, it's still a band-aid. It's just a natural band-aid. And so, yes, it's better because you're not going to deal with the side effects that you will deal with if you're just taking the medication, but we still want to figure out why. Why are you dealing with the issues you're dealing with? And what does your body need to get back into balance so that you can function properly again? Because things are not going to get better. Just being the tough guy, this was me in the past. I had really heavy periods and I was like, I got this. I can tough it through this. Even though it was like I was exhausted, I was miserable, but I thought that that was my role as a woman, that I just had to suck it up and deal with this. And that's not the case. There are things we can do. And the longer we ignore these messages from our body, the more messages it's going to send. And then other things start to happen. And so work with a practitioner. That's the advice I have for you as well. If it's me, amazing. I'd be more than happy to have a consultation with you, test you, and see what's going on with you. Even if it's not me, find someone who will help you dig deeper and figure out what's going on with you and what does your body need. Because you can do things like put a hot water bottle over your abdomen, over your painful areas when you're having the cramping throughout your period. Um, you can do, what else do I have written down here? Exercise is really helpful to help with this. You can go to a chiropractor and get some adjustment. Sometimes there's something that needs to be adjusted that's causing your pelvis to sit in a way that it's causing more pressure. But ultimately, make sure you work with a practitioner. We don't have to just deal with this. I know as women, often it can feel that way. Like, I need to be strong, I need to be tough, and I need to just tough it through. But you're not doing yourself any favors or anyone else as well. So I hopefully this was helpful. I gave you some tips. I gave you some ideas of how this can be a problem, why this is a problem, and things that you can do. And if you need any support or would like my help, be sure to reach out to me. You can send me a message. We can set up a call and figure out what's going on with you and what does your body need. So enjoy the rest of your day. I will talk to you again soon. It's Kate McDowell again from Aligned Natural Health. Live well naturally.